Hello, Kim. Hello, Tanya. All right. Oh, a couple more coming. Laverne, Patty. Perfect. How's your day today, Kim? Good? Oh, I think it was pretty good. You're muted, so I can't really see what you're saying, hear what you're saying, but I read your lips. I think you had a good day.
It was a good day. I just got back from vacation for a week, but
Oh, where were you?
Just in Pasadena.
Oh, okay. Pasadena is the hot spot these days. Booming.
Well, it wasn't last week. It was snow winter wonderland last week.
Well, Marble Mountain's ready to open up, so I guess
Yeah.
it's that time of year too, right?
Yeah.
Probably lots of people in there that are looking forward to the snow.
Yeah, I bet.
Hi, Patty, Laverne, Jackie, Tanya. Hello.
Hi.
Tanya. Hello.
Hi.
Let's get this casted into the group, and we'll go ahead and get started. Group. My own group. Perfect. All right. Patty, seeing you're here, if you don't mind, maybe just keeping an eye on the chat and the Facebook, just because I still can't manage to do two things at once. Just if there's any questions in there, that's all. That'd be great. Thanks a million. Okay. We're live in the group. Perfect. Got it. So we're being recorded. We're being live streamed. How's everybody doing? Everybody's good? Everybody is good.
Great.
All right. So I want to, first of all, start off by re-announcing the sponsorship for the family for Christmas. Going to keep it really simple with details as far as right now. If you want to contribute, just shoot me a message, a DM. We can talk more about things that we need specifically. It is going to be 3 children that we're going to be buying gifts for the most part. So just reach out to me if you want to take a part in it. You can do gift cards. You could buy gifts and send them to me. I'm trying to get a list of what we need exactly, so that might take a couple days, but really good opportunity just to bring the group together and really spread whatever we can to help someone else out in a time of need, for sure. All right, so I'll keep announcing that, and I'll keep looking for donations and stuff, but I'll give more details as I know. Okay, give me a day or two and I should know a lot more. So we're here for 5 secrets to bulletproof your metabolism, but let's start with some important information that we need to know first. Okay, so what is a metabolism? A metabolism is a process that occurs on a cellular level. This is just a straight definition. It can be broken down into 2 forms, anabolism and catabolism. Okay, so anabolism is generally considered to be constructive metabolism, right? So that means it's building something. Catabolism is seen as destructive metabolism, meaning that it breaks down complex molecules for fuel. So just remember that anabolism means you're building something, so you're building muscle. Catabolism means that, so it's a mechanism used during digestion, and it's the process that allows the body to break down food. Okay, so it also does that to your muscle when we're under eating, is the point that I'm trying to get to here eventually, right? So it'll start breaking down your muscle and fat for energy if we're not eating enough. And anabolism is the complete opposite, right? So whenever the body forms tissue from wound healing or after an injury to muscle building, that's through exercise. So that is what anabolism is, okay? Give me 1 second. I'm going to grab my dog. He's being a nuisance. And he's going to have to go on his kennel. Can't keep his mouth quiet because he just had a treat from those weather up. In a bit. All right. So, can your metabolism be lowered? Metabolic adaptation, right? I talk about this all the time. Refers to the changes that take place in your body to reduce energy expenditure. So basically just means that you're burning less calories, and it's in order to conserve energy. Okay, your body becomes more efficient at using the energy you provide it with. And this happens in response to the calorie deficit. As you try to lose weight, okay? Remember that the time when you initially lost a good amount of weight and then you plateaued and you stopped losing weight. You keep eating the same number of calories, you keep upping your activity level, and you're doing everything else the same that resulted in weight loss in the beginning, but now the scale just won't move, right? We've all been there, I'm sure. I know I've been there before. You can't lose any more weight and you have no idea where you're going wrong. So if you've been through this, there's a good chance that you've experienced those effects of metabolic adaptation. Okay, so I want to use a Mrs. Jones analogy and talk over the highlights of a client that I'm working with right now. She was a bikini stage competitor, loved to run, including running marathons, and was eating 1,200 calories a day for years. She owns a business. She has kids, grandkids, a dog, a husband, bills, right? So you get the point. She was doing a lot of stuff. She was stressing her body out constantly for years. And I always use the analogy like a tiger chasing her around all the time, right? She's in a constant state of chaos. And she even had a high blood sugar from all the stress and the under eating and everything else that she had going on in her life. Even though she didn't eat fuck all sugar, she still had a high blood sugar. It's just something that a lot of people don't realize that can happen, right? Stress alone can do that to you. It's just really important to know. She literally passed out on a plane and her body said, like, that's it, right? Like, you got to do something different or your body's literally going to shut down. So we've gone from 1,200 calories up to 1,925, and we're down from 3 runs a week down to 1, and we're lifting weights 3 times a week instead of 5, eating 3 cups of veggies a day, 2 rest and recovery activities per week. And this week she finally broke 160. So we're down 4 pounds from where we started. And she'd been trying to lose 10 pounds for 5 years, right? Eating the same amount of food, doing the same amount of things that worked before. And then all of a sudden it just stopped working, right? And then she's like, oh man, what happened? And then even though she was eating 1,200 calories, she was gaining weight, right? So has anybody ever been there? Tanya's nodding her head, right? She's waving, exactly, right? So this is why we need to go through this process first, right? We need to think about our metabolism and take care of our metabolism before we start thinking about losing weight, right? Sometimes, as Tanya is experiencing, you lose weight increasing calories, right? But then it could be possible that you start putting some on. But the point here is that you're rebuilding your metabolism, you're getting healthy, and you're getting your body in a better place. Does your age affect your metabolism? I get this question a lot. It does, but not really until you turn 60. And then even then, it's not insurmountable at all. You just have to cover the basics. Okay, so quick answer on that. What is necessary for fat loss? Something else I want to cover. The one thing that you need for fat loss is a calorie deficit. So that's simply defined as eating less calories per day than your body's burning. So I also want to stress food is energy. Okay, energy is fuel. Thus, food is fuel. Energy is food, or yes, energy is food. Food is energy. Food is fuel. So food is not something that makes me fat. You know what I mean? So you need to understand the difference. We all need to stop fearing food. We all need to stop running away from food that tastes good because we think it's going to make us fat. Because if you keep running away from delicious food, then yes, it's going to make you fat in the end when you do eat it. Right? So if we just have it every now and then, we keep that metabolism going and we build some muscle, we use the food as fuel, right? We're not sitting around being sedentary all the time. That's what we need to be doing. Excuse me. So why your body is always trying to reduce your caloric burn? Caloric burn is just how many calories you burn per day. And you want this number to be as high as possible so you can diet on as high a number of calories as possible. Right? So when you do this, it allows you to lose fat and hold on to muscle. And again, hold on to your metabolism. Another thing you got to worry about when we're under eating, and another thing that slows your metabolism and does a lot more than that, is when your adrenals start to slow down. When your adrenals are a little tired, where they're not producing as many hormones as they used to. Your adrenals are where your metabolic hormones are produced. This is simple. The more hormones you have, the more calories you burn. And it's really something that I'm focusing on even more now, is really making sure that we're taking care of the adrenals. The more muscle you have, the more energy you have, the better your skin looks, the better your hair looks, right? All that stuff is tied directly to your adrenals. and is tied directly to how you're going to perform in the gym as well. What hormones affect your metabolism? Whether you're a man or a woman, the hormones we're going to talk about here are testosterone and estrogen. They play the largest role in your metabolism, but there are other hormones that need to be considered when we're trying to lose fat. And to be able to sustain that weight loss, we have to consider our cortisol levels. So basically our reaction to stress, our insulin levels, our progesterone, women's progesterone, and all of your thyroid hormones, right? So the more of each of these hormones you have, again, then the more calories you're going to burn. So again, that's what we're trying to do in this first phase of the program. When we're trying to stay healthy, when we're periodizing our nutrition, we're making sure that our hormones are healthy. We're making sure that we're eating really good food. We're trying to lose some weight by increasing our calories, trying to get that metabolism going, right? Stocking that fire. Any questions so far? This all making sense? Open up the chat, that might help. Local family. It is definitely local family, Kim. I just seen that for the first time. And I think we will be announcing who it is. Like, we'll obviously give it to them eventually. Just the girl that I'm doing it with wanted to be a surprise. So yes, it is a local family for sure. Directly affected by the hurricane. Eat versus neat. If there's any questions, just throw them in the chat anytime. Patty, I don't know if you were here when I asked you just to watch the chat in the Facebook. I saw it when I came back. You were gone, so I don't know if you heard me or not. But just see if there's any questions in there. So eat versus neat. Non-exercise activity thermogenesis is your neat. So this is the energy expended for everything we do that is not sleeping, eating, or sports like exercise. So it ranges from the energy expended walking to work, typing, performing yard work, undertaking any kind of task at home, fidgeting, stuff like that. And the cool thing about NEAT is it's stress-free cardio, right? So we all know that stress and keeping stress as low as we can, as much as possible, is critical to your good health. Your NEAT accounts for about 15% of your calories burned each day, but it can vary a lot from person to person. So NEAT is about 15% of your total calories per day. And we're talking about things like walking to work, typing, things that aren't purposeful exercise, basically, as you're going to learn here when we talk about exercise activity thermogenesis. So in very active people, first, it can make up about 30% of your daily calories burned. So that's your NEAT, right? It can make up to about 30%, but typically it counts for about only 15%. So your EAT is your exercise activity thermogenesis. So this is the energy expended for everything that we do that includes things like lifting weights, running on the treadmill, playing basketball. So it's superbly important, however, to know that when we're purposely exercising, we are also purposely stressing our body, okay? Just like a calorie deficit is a stress to our body, these activities are stressing our body, exercising and pushing our heart rate enough to be stressing our body. The number of calories burned during exercise, so during your EAT, accounts for about roughly only 5% of your total daily energy expenditure. So that's really something important to think about. The active exercise that you're doing during the day accounts for about 5% of the calories that you're burning throughout the day. So when you get on the treadmill and you're trying to run your calories away, you might as well not do it, because the stress that you're creating to burn 200 or 300 or 400 calories, if you're there for 2 or 3 hours, is not worth it, right? Your basic metabolic rate, that's what we need to take care of. That's what we need to have as high as possible. And that accounts for 60 to 70% of your total daily calories burned. So do you think we should get that number as high as possible? Sounds obvious now when we've heard all that information, right? So that's what we're going to talk about in the 5 secrets, is how we're going to get this basic metabolic rate as high as possible heading into Christmas. Now, some of this you've all heard before, right? Because a lot of this is going to be repetitive, but let's start with number 1. You've got to eat real food, right? If you've been on any of my trainings, you know where we're going to start. Avoiding processed foods is paramount when it comes to maintaining a healthy weight. Processed foods, they just contain ingredients that when you take time to think about it, you know that they're definitely not things you want to put in your body. They're pro-inflammatory and just plain toxic, really. Real foods are foods that are unrefined, unprocessed, and do not contain added ingredients like salt, simple carbohydrates, or fat. They're close to their natural state as possible and haven't been artificially created. So just think if it's been grown in soil or if it had a mother, right? Then they contain only 5 or a few whole ingredients, right? 5 ingredients or less. Simple. Choosing these foods that you know are safe for your body can really help manage some kind of allergy or disease. If you have some kind of autoimmune thing going on, something going on in your gut, this can really be enough to get past that. It can mean less inflammation, less stress, less digestive issues for sure, and less visits to the doctor. A dieting mentality is going to be harmful because it limits your focus to your weight. So you have to think more of your health. You have to think more big picture than just strictly being focused on that scale. Good nutrition is a lot more than just about losing weight. It's about having enough energy and feeling healthy. Everything else usually comes after that. If you can just have more energy, if you can just start to feel healthier, focus on real food instead of dieting, and it can be a much more sustainable, enjoyable way to live. And oftentimes it can be enough to get people where they want to get to. If they simply cut out processed food, move a little bit more, it can get people where they need to be, just that alone. Number 2, going into Christmas, this one's important. Yes, Christmas is coming. We're all going to have some drinks, but we got to be an adult about it. Just control limit your alcohol consumption to a couple nights a week maximum. I'm sure we all know alcohol is bad for your body and what it does, but what it does for maintaining a healthy weight is really, really awful. The first thing to understand is alcohol has 4 calories per gram. So the more alcohol you consume, the more calories you consume, the fatter you get. Okay, simple. The other thing most people don't know is how consuming alcohol makes you bloated and makes you inflamed. So if you have drinks on Saturday, I say this in all my presentations, you wake up lighter the next day the day after when you were drinking just because you're dehydrated. We all say, Sunday you wake up, you're light, and then Monday you're probably starting to feel a little bit bloated. You're like, oh, I feel a little bit bigger than yesterday. And then Tuesday you're bigger again. So that's that inflammation. That's that puffiness that happens from the drinking. And if we're drinking, so that'll happen for 3 days after you're drinking. So if we drink, say Saturday night, and then we drink again Sunday to Tuesday night, and then again Friday night, but only a couple of drinks a night, that process is not going to stop. So bonus tip, all Christmas, make sure you're drinking 2.5 liters of water per day. Make sure that you're hydrated all the time, because when you get behind, so if you're dehydrated from the night before drinking and you go drinking again the next night, really asking for trouble. So stay hydrated, drink like an adult, and that'll help. Number 3, do compound exercise resistance training. So compound exercises are exercises that work multiple muscle groups at the same time. You can also look at them as exercises that use more than one joint. So things like squats, things like deadlifts, bench press, stuff like that. What we're doing here is, remember when I mentioned about getting on the treadmill and running off maybe 100 or 200 calories, but the stress not being worth it. We talked about NEAT, where you're not going to stress your body. You're going to get some calorie burn, but you're not going to have to worry about the stress. So EPOC is excessive post-exercise oxygen consumption. Simply means that your body is burning more calories after you work out for up to 48 hours. So for up to 2 hours after you lift weights, your body is going to be burning more calories than you were before you lifted. So things like building muscle, it's going to improve your heart rate. It's going to improve your flexibility. It's going to make your training time way more efficient, because you don't have to spend 2 or 3 hours a week on the treadmill. You can just do your training and then forget about the cardio, because you're going to get the afterburn from the weightlifting. So don't be one of those people standing there doing bicep curls every single time you work out, right? So your workout is some shoulder raises, some bicep curls, some hammer curls, and some calf raises or whatever, right? Think more about using more muscles at the same time. They aren't going to flatten your tummy or get rid of your muffin top with these little exercises, right? So think compound exercise resistance training. So far, we talked about eating real food. We talked about controlling your alcohol consumption because everybody knows we're going to drink more on Christmas, and doing some compound exercise resistance training to use the sugar that we're going to eat over Christmas. We're going to build a metabolism, right? We're going to get more flexible. We're going to help with our joints. We're going to get stronger, all the things that come with it. And it's going to lead to more energy. It's going to lead to you feeling better. When we talked about that earlier as well, it's going to just improve your mood, just going to the gym and accomplishing something. But your body responds in the big picture as well. The more muscle you have, the better you feel. Number 4, you have to work on getting 7 to 8 hours of rested sleep per night. Just because it's Christmas doesn't mean that we can not sleep. That's going to be another stressor when we're talking about being overstressed already. Sleep's going to play a massive role in your body's ability to burn calories. Simply improving your sleep quality can be the missing piece to your weight loss. If you're chronically undersleeping, then you're chronically stressed, and your body is chronically stressed, and you're constantly in that fight or flight mode, and you're never really going to get out of it. So go to bed at the same time every night and get up at the same time on the weekends. Go back to what it was like when you were a kid. You had a bedtime. You had a time when you woke up. You went to school. You stayed awake all day. You came home. You played with your friends. You went and played a sport at night, whatever it was. That structure, that's what our bodies crave. Getting up with the sun, going down with the sun. Nearly all of us will do better with some structure in your life. So bring some structure to your sleep, work on your sleep, and start there. One good night of sleep can really make a big difference in how you roll out of bed in the morning and how the rest of that day goes. Okay, one more. Control your what? S word, stress, and how you react to stress when it happens. You've heard me talking about stress a lot. Extra calories. So extra calories can be caused from stress. First of all, stress can cause sugar cravings. I know you've all been there. We've all been there for sure. And it's going to make it harder to resist them once you got one. Stress is going to deplete your willpower and is usually going to result in a negative mood, which is one of the biggest triggers for cravings there is. You know, Christmas, there's going to be a lot more food around. There's going to be a lot more treats around, a lot more sugar. So if you're having a bad day, it's a lot easier to reach for it. Unfortunately, sugar is actually a very effective stress reliever in the short term. And the more sugar you eat, the more sugar you crave. Again, like the bloating cycle, this is another really vicious cycle. How it affects your metabolism exactly. So everyday stressors can actually slow down your metabolism by a significant amount. And I'll tell you more about how it works here. We know that stress can regulate eating behavior in the form of comfort eating and cravings. We talked about that. It also controls hormonal and metabolic processes that can cause weight gain. Stress hormones cause insulin resistance, and that is going to potentially lead to type 2 diabetes. It messes with the function of the beta cells in the pancreas, which also can possibly lead to type 2 diabetes. So that is really important to know. Remember, I talked about that client earlier. She has high blood sugar literally from stress. She's 160 pounds. She's not overweight. It's just stress, too much going on in her life. So that hormonal response to stress as well. So if you're always, remember we talked about wanting to have the proper level of hormones in the introduction to tonight's training. So if you're always in that fight or flight response, just think that last time you had a day where you woke up, you weren't feeling great when you woke up, something bothered you, you're really irritable, and then boom, you just explode. And then all day you're just waiting for something else to happen so you explode again, right? That is that fight or flight response. There's basically a tiger chasing you around all day. So think about like if you're in the woods and you're cutting wood with your grandfather when you're a kid, like I would have been, you come across a bear and you're like, oh shit, there's a bear. That's that feeling. That's that type of stress. It impairs your glucose intolerance. It's going to decrease your levels of testosterone, these hormones. Remember we talked about this at the start. This is why you know now that this is all important to burn the maximum number of calories you can. The thyroid hormone, stress is going to wreak havoc on your thyroid. It's going to destroy it. So when you're trying to lose weight, you're stressing about not losing weight. That's going to make you hold on to more weight, right? Your body doesn't want to lose weight. It's hard to lose weight. It just fights against it in many ways. It's also going to stress, again, is going to increase your insulin resistance. So then what's that going to do? Then we're talking about diabetes again, type 2 diabetes. It's going to increase inflammation in your stomach, in your joints, everywhere in your body. So even if humans don't actually comfort eat to deal with stress, their metabolisms are still going to slow down. Your energy expenditure decreases. And again, your hormones are going to get all off kilter, and your blood sugar regulation is going to be all out of whack as well. And the older we get, the more prone we are to poor blood sugar, and the harder it is to bring down. Stress, in other words, is a metabolism destroying machine. So more proof of how bullshit the eat less, move theory for weight loss is. If you're a cardio queen who takes up walking and running on the treadmill, remember to work off that 100 calories. It might take you an hour to work off 100 calories, but it makes you miserable to do it, and it becomes a source of stress. Then you literally will be better off not having done it at all, taking a hot bath at home and going to bed. You might as well forget about all the other metabolism boosting tips you've seen me teaching. If you want to burn more calories, managing your stress will get you a whole lot further than eating blueberries or drinking a fucking cold glass of water or whatever hack is out there right now that you're going to come across. So that is most of the training. That is the training. Just to recap, we talked about from the start and the intro. Is there any questions? First of all, shoot them in the chat as I'm going through here. But we talked about what is a metabolism, that process that can be anabolism or catabolism. Catabolism is the mechanism used during digestion, and anabolism is the opposite. So when your body's forming tissue, we always want to be forming tissue, right? We don't want to be under eating. We don't want our body tearing muscle off our body for energy for our body to use to get through the day. Can it be lowered? Yes, it can be lowered for sure. Definitely from too much stress, under eating, any kind of stress is going to lower your metabolism. We talked about my client that went from 1,200 to 1,925 calories. We're working out 5 less times a week between cardio and weights, and she's dropped 4 pounds after trying to lose 10 pounds for the last 5 years. Okay, that's the type of stuff that we're talking about. Does your age affect your metabolism? Yes, but not till you're 60, and not really very much at all. What is necessary for weight loss? We need a calorie deficit. So we need to make sure that our body is burning the maximum number of calories so we don't have to go on a stupid starvation diet. What hormones affect your metabolism? We went through that a little bit. We talked about testosterone and estrogen. Then we talked about cortisol and insulin and progesterone. All your thyroid hormones. These are the things that are below the surface that are controlling how many calories your body's burning per day. Eat versus NEAT, so non-exercise activity thermogenesis and your purposeful exercise. We learned that your basic metabolic rate is going to count for 60 to 70% of your total calories. Your active exercise, remember I told you, is only 5%. So that half an hour you're running on the treadmill is probably not worth it realistically in your weight loss journey, unless you've already taken the time to rebuild your body and get healthy first. And you're coming at your diet from a place of strength and not a place from stress, then yes, go ahead and do some running. You'll probably see some results. And then we talked about the 5 secrets: eating real food, controlling your alcohol consumption, being Christmas and all, doing compound exercise resistant training. So I talked to a client this morning. I told her she's going out this weekend, Saturday. She wants to go out and have a good time. I said, take some calories from Thursday and Friday, have a workout Saturday morning, right? So your metabolism is going, you have some empty muscles that are going to need some food and some fuel for that night. So you can go out and enjoy your night. You have a metabolism, you wake up the next day, you won't have to worry about it. So yeah, resistance training, always be on the weights. And then sleep just because it's Christmas doesn't mean that you can sit around and not sleep or stay
Oh,
up all
boy.
night and not sleep. You got to make sure that you're getting your 7 to 8 hours of rest and sleep per night. And stress. Control your stress, control your stress and control how you react to stress when it happens. That
Need
same
help with
client
that.
was talking about getting gifts and stuff, right? And how hard it is sometimes to just get through the stress of getting gifts for everybody, getting through the stress of Christmas, getting through the stress of work. And she was like, oh, I'm so glad it's over. Now she can go out and enjoy her event on the weekend. We talked about the extra calories that stress causes from eating more food and craving sugar, but we also talked about the effects of stress on those hormones, how it impairs your glucose tolerance, how it's going to lead to possibly those type 2 diabetes, right? All those bad things that we don't want can literally just come from stress. Okay, how'd we do? Good training? Pretty good in depth? Thumbs up from Kim. Tanya's giving me a nod. Vern, I'm
Great.
sure enjoyed
Really
it.
good.
Jackie's
Awesome
unmuted.
job.
Stay good. Awesome. Perfect. So is there any questions or did any of this hit home with anybody? Is this anybody here tonight? Yeah. Awesome input. Definitely. All right. Perfect. Okay. So last reminder, I just announced this today for anybody that wasn't here at the start. We're sponsoring a family for Christmas. I'm going to have a couple more, I'm going to have more details in a couple days of exactly what we need. If you simply want to send me a gift card, it doesn't have to be very much. Probably like a Walmart gift card would be a good idea, but I'll have more details, like I said, in a couple days. And if you want to send me something specific, we should have a list as well. But just give me a couple days to get some more info on that, and we will get that out to you. So we can do that as a group. I think that'll be fun to do for everybody. So.
Can we send you money? E-transfer?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. Absolutely. Whatever you send me, I'll just show you the receipt for later on, and whatever's easiest for everybody, just to make it work.
Okay.
Definitely. Cool.
Cool. Cool.
All right. Awesome. So I'll get a VDC out. I'll get a PDF out tomorrow with most of this information on it for everybody, and I'll get Patty to get that out, and then we'll be seeing everybody. Maybe we'll do Patty. Want to do what are you doing Wednesday night, Patty?
What
Time
am
for
I
an interview?
What am I doing Wednesday night? Yeah, Wednesday should be good.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a client interview with Patty to follow up Kelly's this week. I meant to ask you that earlier today, but if that works out, we'll do that Wednesday. I'll get that PDF out tomorrow, and then we'll do another training on Thursday. Be in the group lots this week. Kim, thanks for going live Sunday. You were brave. There was 3 of you.
Awesome.
So I'm going to put that $30 towards the foundation. I was going to say, sorry, this family sponsorship. I'll just put that $30 towards it, and then I'll donate on top of that for sure. But it seems like the best thing to do with that. All right. Okay. Awesome. Love it. Good energy. We will see you guys all in the group tomorrow. And if there's not any questions, everybody have a great night. And if you want to learn something next week, let me know what it is. All right. Okay. Everybody have a great night. I'll see everybody soon.
Thanks.
See ya.
Yeah.
Bye.